So in this tutorial we're going to look at a terrazzo soap. Now terrazzo is by definition a frog material consisting of chips of marble or granite set into concrete and polished. Now this is a soap, this obviously doesn't contain anything like granite or anything like that, but it's essentially the same process where we're taking previously made soap that we've chopped up into blocks or strips or even grated down and then mixing that into some fresh batter to create a new soap. And this is a brilliant way of being able to use up soap that you've already made or soap that's not quite turned out the way you wanted to, but you still want to be able to use it. You get a great effect from it, and it's all dependent on how big or small you create your terrazzo blocks within the main soap that you're making. So here you'll see I'm just mixing up some standard soap batter. This is just my standard recipe that I use. There is a recipe in the description below for a vegan soap that you might want to try. Just make sure that you run that through a soap calculator first of all. And the soaps that I'm going to actually put into this are made using a technique called Sigalia, which is where you take old soap and you blitz it into your oils and then you make new soap from it. This is a slightly different technique, but this is essentially using recycled soap in a recycled soap in a recycled soap, as it were. So we're just going to get this batter up to trace, and it's not quite there yet. If you do look at the end of the bell here, you'll see that it's just starting to break up and crazing slightly. And I don't want that. I want this to be at trace so that when I make this, it's a very quick technique. It'll just go all nice and smoothly. So we give this another little mix here just to make sure that we're getting the right trace out of this soap batter. And then once we're there, I've divided my soaps into 3 separate jugs, and I'm going to pour this batter into each one of those jugs so that each piece of that terrazzo is covered in my soap batter. And then each one of those soaps will get poured into a mould. So we're going to try and be a little bit more precise with this one. So I'm going to divide this batter equally between the 3 lots of soap that I've got here. So into each one, and you'll notice how I'm pouring this down the spout of the jug into the other batter there. And this is just really to stop getting too much air incorporated into the soap as I split this out. So you see that we're going for roughly 315 grams per pot here. And this will then fill up into our pot, sorry, into our mould. So that was the first one of the purple. We've got this nice kind of bright cerise blue that we're going to use for part of it. And we'll put another 315-ish grams in there. And the final one is this nice dark, deep blue that we've got here. And I will measure this one out as well. So we've got as close to the right amount in each one of these. And that should, so we're scraping out. You want to scrape out as much of your batter as you can because it's expensive to make and you want to get as much in there as you possibly can do. And that's got 298. Yeah, we've got about 300 in there roughly. So it's all worked out round about the same weight in each of these jugs. And then we're going to give each one a stir so that every piece of that terrazzo is covered in new batter. So it's all going to be basically locked into this soap and you won't get little bits falling out. And for me, I just wanted to try and keep these coloured bits of terrazzo in layers. So you're going to get a purple, a light blue and a dark blue as we pour them into this mould. And now it's just a case of realistically just putting each one of these into the mould. And I'm using a accelerating fragrance oil with this one. So I'm putting it into each section separately, so that as the acceleration takes place, it's not happening in the jug, it's happening within the mould. So we'll just speed up the next little bit until we've got all of this in the mould, and then I'll show you how I just finished the top of this off. And finishing this soap off is very, very simple and very easy. All we're going to do is texture the top. So we're bringing a little bit of that soap up into the middle. And then I'm going to take a skewer or a rod or something and then just run it down that middle section so we get a nice little pattern through the middle. So just creating that little pattern through the middle. And then because this is just the natural soap colour, you can gel it or you can just leave it out on the side. I tend to just pop it into an oven to pop it because there is no colourant in this one and there's no titanium dioxide in there either. So just pop this away, give it a nice overnight gel, and then we'll come back tomorrow for the cut. And so cutting this one was very easy. I'm using my multi-bar cutter, just make sure all the tension is right in the strings. And then I just like to give it a nice even pressure pushing down. And I don't like it to bang at the end. So I try and make sure that that very final section, just a very gentle cut. I'm not ripping anything out. You might find this a little bit harder than normal because the soap that's within it has already saponified and been saponified for a while. And therefore you might need to put a little bit more pressure onto it. But it'll go through very easily, and then we'll take a look at the final bars in a second. And there is a final look at the Terrazzo soap in all its glory. So if you've enjoyed this video, please give it a like. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. It really helps me grow and allows me to make more videos and tutorials for all of you. When you subscribe, don't forget to click the bell icon to get notified when a new video is uploaded. And thanks a lot, soapsters. I'll see you again next time.